Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the Nikola's second quarter 2020 results. My name is Vikas Shukla and I cover a wide range of topics in my wide spectrum channel here. So let's move on quick to see what those results are. Obviously, it's not producing any truck for now, so obviously there was no revenue. So all people were looking for in the conference call of the second quarter results were number one, the number itself, which was obviously how much money they spent, and then you need to find out with this burn rate of with the way they are spending that money, how much cash they have in the hand. So to get a look of at how long they can keep continuing before they run out of their own juice. So that number was $86 million of loss in this second quarter, and they said that they had $707 million of cash, and they have seen that there's some kind of future cash that can come in the form of warrants, something like $264 million, so roughly about $970 million of cash. And this figure, $86 million, it can keep increasing easily in the coming quarters as they ramp up their R&D, their production, their sales and operations. So we can very easily say that it's going to be $100 million in the near future. A rough approximate figure to figure that means that we're going to be, we should have enough cash to last for like 8 quarters at least, which means that the way I go through it is that we have like 100 million to burn in each quarter. So for the rest of the year, we can expect to burn $200 million, and then in the next year another $400 million at the minimum, so $600 million. But this figure will keep increasing at a much faster rate as they go into the pilot production and production. They need to set up their factories and supply chain and so on and so forth. So, but now the question that we have is how their production timelines look like, and what do they have any new customer, do you have any pre-orders, the manufacturing partnership, and so on and so forth. So those are the questions that, but before we go into that, let's look at the price of the stock. It was $38 just before the release of the result, and it went down to $32. Almost, it was actually more than 38 just before the market closed to $39 actually, and it went down 18% to $32 in the pre-market. We will know tomorrow how it looks like when the market opens. Now with $38 share price, the valuation was $14 billion, and with this price goes down to $30 or so, this is going to be a $10 billion valuation. And that is the figure that for the stock owners need to keep in mind, how this valuation is going to arrive, and we will come back to that shortly. And before that, we learned that the production time, this going to be the trucks are going to be produced in Germany, and this production is going to commence in 2021. What it looks like, the feeling is that it is going to be rolled out for production, and selected few customers will be occupying those trucks by the end of 2021, and the real production ramp up will happen in 2022. So what we expect, and if the things are going like this, we can expect that this production, let's say if it's happened in first quarter of 2021, and they should start seeing that revenue coming in the fourth quarter of 2021, and then it should have enough cash to hopefully last until that. And if the response is good, then in 2022 we should good to go. But then you will see there are a lot of risks involved here, and we'll learn a little bit about that as well. But we know that we have a manufacturing plant in Arizona, and that the work will start in 2021. Probably they cannot start the much work on it unless they have some cash, and that's probably they are planning like they will piggyback on the revenues that start generating in 2021 to start ramping up their production. The things will be still be in the R&D stage, and they will start doing a full production in 2023. Uh, they are saying they have 800 pre-order from Envisor, and that's, if it's true, it's quite a good figure to start with, but we will know that. Another thing we need to know is that the differentiating factor, and here we are start talking about its competition with Tesla. The differentiating factor for the Nikola is the hydrogen fuel cell. And again, it's a double-edged sword. It's an unproven technology. It could be expensive because to make the hydrogen itself, you need electricity. Electricity, they say that they can make hydrogen at $3.5 per kg, assuming they can get the electricity at 4 cents per kilowatt hour, which looks like a little difficult, and that's something we will know, and if they are able to do that. But then there are questions of how this hydrogen fuel cell can be refueled and station and all these things. The competition for Tesla Semi, they have, on the other hand, they have 2,000 orders, pre-orders in hand, each of them selling at 150k. The one with the smaller range, something like 300 miles versus 500 miles. The one with the higher miles, I don't know the exact number, but the higher mileage one goes like 200k or something. And if with this 2,000 orders with 150k each, they have a $300 million in kind of pre-order in hand. Now let's see how these figures, I'll take this truck prices to see how this $14 billion valuation line up. Let's say we get an order of 20,000 trucks, that will convert into $3 billion of, let's say, moving into 2022. We are looking at 2022, and they are able to get an order of 20,000 trucks. That will generate $3 billion of revenue, and then with $3 billion in revenue, 14 or $10 billion of valuation is looking okay. But then that is something that's going to happen, or we'll get to know very feel of this somewhere around 2022 January. If it's a long haul and there with some risks, with some competition of Tesla and so on and so forth, you should know your risk factors and so on and so forth. Personally, I have two Nikola puts, one at $30 and one at $25. So I believe that the stock prices can go down, and I may get those stocks. So my average price, if I get both of them, if it keeps going down to something around $22, $23, with those risks, it's probably to hang over in that price range. The peak price had shot up to around $70 or so, and the peak valuation had jumped to $25 billion. But we have to come down to the reality. At this point, at least, it's not valued that much, as per my my understanding and my gut feeling. What I would say, it's more like a $20 share as of now, and when the things get more clear, we can jump into to grab more share of it. So that's what I just wanted to. I'm not saying I'm going to be right or wrong. What I feel is that at some price point, the risk of owning this Nikola share is worth it. It's unproven, but then that's why you have a gut. But what you need to do is you probably need to wait and watch, and maybe look for how low the price can go down. Somewhere around 20 to lower, you certainly probably is worth taking. At this point, the price can expect that it can vary wildly depending upon how positive news they can give, Nikola can give, and how positive they can be on their marketing front. Because remember, they are going to sell more trucks if they make more kind of words, or more marketing, more talk keeps on, that will sell. But eventually it will also depend upon how they compete with Tesla and how their hydrogen story itself it's useful for the user. Thanks for taking a look.